Standard 1.4, sketch an angle in standard position in degrees or radians. So let's take a look at our coordinate plane. And we'll start with positive angles. In this video, we'll sketch angles in degrees, and in part 2, we'll be sketching angles in radians. When we are sketching angles, we begin at 0 degrees, which is at the positive x-axis, and we're rotating through the quadrants in the counterclockwise direction. Each axis that we hit is another 90 degrees. So up at the top, we have 90 degrees, then 180, at the bottom 270, and then a full rotation is 360 degrees again. Let's practice sketching an angle. So for example, let's sketch an angle that's 125 degrees. Now when we sketch an angle, whether it's in degrees or in radians, positive or negative, our initial ray always belongs on the positive x-axis. Then we have to determine where our terminal ray is going to go. Since it's 125 degrees, our angle will terminate between 90 and 180. 125 is a little closer to 90 than it is to 180. So my terminal ray will be a little closer to 90 than it is to 180. A final piece of our sketch is the rotation. So we want to sketch an arrow indicating the rotation beginning at the initial ray and ending at the terminal ray. And we have to put that arrowhead there. That way we know that it's a positive angle. Let's sketch another angle, this time a negative one. So for example, let's sketch an angle whose measure is negative 200 degrees. Now when we sketch negative angles, again we're going to start at 0 degrees, but negative angles are sketched in the clockwise direction. And so negative 90 is down here at the bottom, then we have 180, up at the top is negative 270, and of course a full rotation is negative 360. Again, our initial ray is always on the positive x-axis, but our terminal ray is going to be determined by the size of the angle. Now, we're opening up our angle in the negative direction, so far we've covered negative 90, negative 180, and negative 200 is between negative 180 and negative 270, closer to negative 180. So our terminal ray is going to be in quadrant 2, closer to negative 180, and we're going to draw in that rotation there. So positive angles go in the counterclockwise direction, negative angles go in the clockwise direction. Let's look at one more example. Let's take an angle that is 430 degrees. Notice this angle is greater than one rotation, but that is okay. We can sketch those. Okay. So again, let's mark our key angles. 0, it's positive, so 90 is at the top. 180, 270, a full rotation is 360. If we add another 90, we're now at 450 degrees. 430 is between 360 and 450, but closer to 450. Our initial ray is going to be on the positive x-axis, and our terminal ray will be between 360 and 450, like I said, closer to 450. Now if we sketch this and just draw this much rotation, we can't tell just by the diagram alone that this angle is more than one full rotation. So we're going to show that we're circling around once and continuing on a second time around our coordinate plane. You must have that to indicate that you're going 1 and then plus some in terms of rotation. So that's the sketch for 430 degrees. Let's actually do one more. Let's do an angle that is negative 600 degrees. So again, because it's more than 360, we know it's more than one full rotation. Let's mark some key angles around our diagram so we can place it. 0. And because it's negative, we're now going in the clockwise direction. So negative 90 is at the bottom, then negative 180, then negative 270, then negative 360. We still haven't found where negative 600 is, so keep on adding negative 90. So now we're at negative 450, add another negative 90, now we're at negative 540, add another negative 90, now we're at negative 630 degrees. Negative 600 is between negative 540 and negative 630, closer to the negative 630. So when we sketch our angle, again, the initial ray is always on the positive x-axis. We're going around once, negative 90, 180, 270, 360, negative, again, second time around, negative 450, negative 540, and again, we're terminating between negative 540 and negative 630, closer to negative 630. So you must show that you're going around once and then some.